Welcome back, guys. This is Automotive Anonymous, and that's the all-new 2024 Subaru Crosstrek Limited. That means it's currently the top trim level of the 4 trim levels that you can configure on Subaru's website, and today we're going to review it. It's in a color that Subaru calls Sunblaze Orange. I like to call it orange, and with an overcast day like today, it looks pretty good, especially with those LED headlights, taillights, and the body panel differences between this and the last generation, the 2nd gen. So we're going to dive right in with a walk around, go through the specs, initial driving impressions, 0 to 60 with the GPS, and final thoughts to decide, is the all-new 3rd generation worth your time and money, or should you leave it at the lot and maybe consider the competition? Big thanks to Twin Falls Subaru for letting me borrow it for the day. I'll link them below. Let's dive right in. There's a lot that's new, but there's also a lot that has stayed the same for this 3rd generation Crosstrek. As you guys can probably tell, the overall body looks very familiar to the outgoing model. But what has stayed the same, it's still 14.7 feet long. The wheelbase is still just under 9 feet, roughly 6 feet wide, roughly 5.3 feet tall. Takes about 35 feet to do a full circle. Has a 370 final drive ratio with 8.7 inches of ground clearance, symmetrical all-wheel drive that's not front-wheel drive biased. And the gas tank is still located on the passenger side. It's a 16.6 gallon tank, but now the 2.5 liter boxer in this is rated for 26 city, 33 highway. So you're gonna be road tripping for a little bit over 500 miles between Phillips if you want. They weigh roughly 3,300 pounds, have a payload capacity of a maximum 1,500 pounds. And then the regular ones can tow up to 1,500, but the Wilderness trim level that will come out soon can actually tow up to 3,500 pounds with the upgrades that it has. But now there's obviously some differences with this one. The Limited still has LED headlights and fog lights, but LED headlights are actually standard across the board for the Crosstrek. You now have functional aero built into the front fenders, you know, just as much cladding as ever, slightly redesigned front and rear end, and you have the 11.6 inch screen, no longer the 6.5 or the 8 inch screen that has a CD player. With that comes a loss of physical buttons for the HVAC system, and there's no longer a manual transmission on the lower trim levels. Otherwise, the seats are a little bit better, the ride's a little bit sportier, a little bit quieter of an interior, but overall, very Subaru Crosstrek, and there's a reason why they sell up to 155,000 of these every single year in the United States. I'm gonna include for you guys a picture of the window sticker here. But keep in mind, a base Crosstrek starts about 25,000, a Limited starts about 31,000 before destination and goodies. What you get is you get leather trimmed upholstery, blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic, automatic braking, 18-inch wheels that have a 225, 55, 18 all-season tire on them. Things of that nature. You also get the 10-way power adjustment for the driver's seat, but the passenger is not power controlled. And then if you have optional package 32 like this one has with some other goodies, that includes the power moonroof and the Harman Kardon speakers that sound really good on this platform. But with how much better insulated this one is than the outgoing model, a little bit better goes a long way, and the bass speakers also sound fantastic. If you've seen those on my base or my premium Crosstrek review that I posted just a few weeks ago. These are not yet rated for safety for this new generation, but you can count on it being at least a top safety pick and a 5-star crash test, just like the outgoing model. But you have a lot of features. You have turn signals, the new blind spot monitoring, you have the stage 4, which is the 3-camera eyesight system, and then all those other features I mentioned for automatic braking and lane keep assist, stuff like that. If you're enjoying my video, please consider giving it a big thumbs up. That little act of kindness really helps support my channel grow. Thank you. We're about to dive in, and you can see just how cool the interior of this Limited Crosstrek is. But you may notice on the website there's no longer a hybrid option, which I honestly think is just fine. The hybrid was more expensive than the Limited, had less cargo capacity, barely more power than the 2-liter base, which was less power than this 2.5 liter boxer you'll see soon enough. And the MPG just weren't there for all the sacrifices that you had. So this currently being the highest trim level of the Crosstrek, it's pretty darn impressive. Proximity key features, so you can lock and unlock the car. You can leave the key in your pocket. You can also pay for the My Subaru app and have remote start from anywhere in the world if you want. Let's dive right in. The door panel looks very iconic to the Crosstrek, really good soft touch materials with the orange stitching from their deal with Hobby Lobby. Carbon fiber type of a theme. Harman Kardon speakers, bottle holder, some snacks, and you even got a little Subaru embedded right there on the bottom of the door. Nothing on the door sill. Crosstrek on the all-weather mats, rubberized pedals, fuses, lighting stock, all the power adjustments you want. 10-way adjustable, orange stitching on the leather seats, they look really good, and then nice moonroof up top. Sitting inside the Crosstrek, we're gonna fire it up with the push button start. Needles dance, Subaru emblem appears. The horn sounds good. A little bit high pitched, but it's loud. Everything's comfortable, easy to get to. All of your controls, your toggle switch to go through the center screen. 8-speed simulated paddle shifters on the back of the leather wrapped wheel. And then your volume and voice controls on the left, adaptive cruise and sport and intelligent mode on the right. The big 11.6-inch screen. You can go through your little settings up top, select your widgets if you want. But if you don't like auto start stop, you're gonna have to turn that feature off every single time. Otherwise, everything's right there. Nice big charging port here. If you don't want that, other trim levels have just a rubberized storage. And then you have some plug-ins, some aux. Piano black around the shifter, go down to manual mode if you want to play simulated gears, electronic parking brake, heated seats, cup holders, a 12-volt. And you know what? That's where your CD storage would go if you still had a CD player, which you don't. Subaru may bring back the CD player in the center console like some other trim levels have, or other models I should say, but otherwise there's nothing in here. Up top you have home link, you have your dimming mirrors, you have your compass, you have your LED lighting, and then your controls for the power moonroof. But otherwise you have good visibility. Side mirrors, they do exactly what they're designed to do. Let's see down the side. But we're gonna turn it off, hop in the back seat and see what else it has to offer. The back door panel follows the same theme, but you might notice that the new Crosstrek now has the extra sunshade if you want that for the back. Otherwise, unnamed speaker, but we know we have Harman Kardon in this setup. Nice soft touch, orange stitching, all the same theme follows. You have a little bit of the mountainous terrain, just like you have on the Imprezas for the new generation, and then really nice multi-tone colored bench seat. 60-40 split, they're lightweight. You can easily toss them around, child tether down there. Sitting behind herself though, I'm 5'11", and I have several inches of room, but no mat pocket back there. I do have some plug-ins and some cup holders in the center armrest, which is really nice. But if I'm just sitting back here chilling, being chauffeured, it's a pretty good place to be. You have quite a bit of room for being a full-size adult in a compact crossover vehicle just like this. We're gonna hop around to the back though, pop the hatch and see what else we have to work with. Back here, I think the rear looks pretty good, pretty aggressive on the new generation. You can unlock all the doors, or you could just unlock the hatch individually if you want. You do have a button that you can set a pin code to get into the vehicle without having a key on you. I do have a video on how to set that. Otherwise, you'll notice some mountainous designing on that rear guard. Non-power lift, but those shocks do fantastic. Back here, you have about 20 cubic feet of room. If you drop the seats, you have about 55, so it's not really any different than the outgoing second gen. We do have the sunshade option, the all-weather mats, the bag for more storage if you want. It's kind of like a mesh bag. And then all-weather mat down here. We do have a temporary spare tire. If I can get my fat fingers to pick it up, there it is, with all the tools. A little bit of periphery room if you guys need to hide anything down there. A snack storage and a dog bowl. And there's one on each side. Let's drop the hatch and move on. The rear passenger looks identical to the driver's side rear. The only difference is this is the 60 split, and you can also see how flat those seats lay, just like the Impreza. And then if you do have a designated backseat driver, put them behind the shotgun seat. That's where they go. And then riding shotgun, the rear panel looks really good. Nice orange stitching, nice ginormous handle, bottle holder, Harman Kardon speakers, nothing on the door sill, and we're back to manual controls because only the driver gets the 10-way power adjustment in this one. Non-locking glove box, no plugins, but it's adequately sized for the class. It's time to come around to the front, pop the hood, and see what the 2.5-liter Boxer looks like. Under the hood, you have a whopping 182 ponies and 178 pound-feet of twisty torque through the engine. Induction goes through the grille, through the filter, the baffling to quiet it down, the throttle body, the upper intake manifold, and then everything's right there, easy to get to, easy to work on. Dipstick, filter, oil fill, all of your reservoirs, the battery, the alternator, the serpentine belt, easy to change, easy to access. And with 182 horse, it really feels a lot more lively than the 152 horse in the lower trim levels of the Crosstrek. But let's see how that feels on the road. It's time to teleport and time travel to one of my favorite roads. Initial driving impressions of the limited 24 Crosstrek is it feels just like last year's model of the Crosstrek. Visibility is really good, of course. It's a Subaru. You know, you have all the safety features with the blind spot, turn signals, eyesight cameras, really good interior volume for a vehicle that's under 15 feet long. And then it's just really human-centric. It feels good to drive. Everything's right where you want it to be. We have the 11.6-inch screen, as you guys know. I missed the CD player. I missed the manual that used to be offered on the lower trim levels of the Crosstrek. But overall, it's about a $35,000 vehicle. It feels good, it's comfortable, it's capable with 8.7 inches of ground clearance, weighing in the low 3,000 pound ballpark, about a 9-foot wheelbase. It does everything quite well. It feels really good on the road. The heated seats, they get warm, but they don't get hot. The Harman Kardon speakers sound really good, especially where this one feels a little bit more insulated. I don't have much road or wind noise today. Of course, it's not super windy outside like it has been on some other reviews I've made in the past. But overall, it's really good. The backpack's comfortable, which is one of, you know, at least my top priorities when driving a Crosstrek. Moonroof adds some nice natural light. Having the home link, all the extra features that this offers to make life more convenient is just a cool place to be. It's capable. I owned a Crosstrek, a 2-liter premium for 40,000 miles. I didn't have a single problem with it. I upgraded because I wanted a bigger ride with more power, hence the Outback Wilderness. But overall, the Crosstrek's really good. If the Sport or the Limited with this bigger Boxer came out when I had mine, I might still be driving a Crosstrek, honestly. They just handled the road so well without a super long wheelbase, but good clearance, good all-wheel drive that's not front-wheel drive bias like a lot of the competition. They're capable. They kick butt in the snow, on ice, in inclement weather. They do really well. You feel stable, you feel supportive, and they're a top safety pick. So Subaru's taking care of you. All you have to do is fork out 35 grand for something like this, and you have a really nice interior, really comfortable ride. And the Boxers in modern time are very reliable. You have paddle shifters, you have a comfortable wheel. I do wish it had the heated steering wheel feature that the upper trim level Outbacks and Ascents and things of that nature have. But honestly, you're not missing a lot of creature comforts when you go top trim level of the Crosstrek. I'm sure you guys are wondering, how fast is it? Well, let's get to our private road and do a 0 to 60. 0 to 60 with the 2.5 Boxer, traction is off, sport mode is on. I'll brake rev the CVT. Keep in mind, true altitude's 3,800 feet, but density altitude's 5,400 feet, so we're down on power, roughly 20% today. I'll verbalize the true 0 to 60 and then post a GPS graph after. Let's go. And true 0 to 60 came in at 8.64 seconds. Here's that graph and then our final thoughts. Final thoughts of the all-new 3rd gen Crosstrek is, at least it's in its natural habitat, getting rained on right now. You know, a little bit has changed, a lot has stayed the same. There's a reason why these have become more popular every single year, why over 150,000 of them are sold in the United States each year, and why they're starting to outsell the Forester and the Outback. It's because they're good, they're compact, they do what they need to do, and they do it well. They're overall fairly affordable for this class of vehicle, and if you have a 2.5 liter Boxer, you're going to be a couple seconds faster 0 to 60 in most real world situations than what the 2 liter provides. So between all the safety features, the capacity, the affordability of this, a lot of people like them. I owned one for a while and it was a good vehicle. What are your thoughts though, guys? Do you like the color orange? Do you like the 3rd generation? Or are you going to be looking at the competition? I'm genuinely curious as to what you decide. If you've owned one, if you're going to own one, I think these are probably going to be pretty reliable, pretty safe, just like the outgoing, the predecessor to this 3rd gen. But time will tell, and I want to hear from you, your expectations, your impressions, and experiences. If you like my video, give it a big thumbs up. If you want to watch more of my stuff, subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.